Hello and welcome to the Stephen Leeson Show with you live at the Scientology Community Centre here in Dublin. My name is Finbar Coady, sitting in for the great man himself. It's my pleasure to present to you this evening our featured guests. They have shared the stage with so many well-known and favourite artists such as Shane MacGowan, Bono, The Edge, Van Morrison, Johnny Depp, the Kaiser Chiefs, Niall Horan, Joe Dolan, Patrick Berrigan, Steve Wickham, BP Fallon, Mundy, and even Brezzy. They have been lauded by Pete Doherty and every top music journalist and radio DJ around Ireland, and many from overseas as well. Their musical styles have been likened to Neil Diamond, Nick Cave, the Bunnymen, Richard Ashcroft, Roxy Music, and just about every great guitar band from the late 80s to the noughties. Tonight, these gentlemen will reveal to us how two culties from the Drumlish Bog, along with two trusted friends from the nearby bogs of Mullingar, managed their steady ascent of the rock and roll mountain while maintaining their love of music and hunger for creating and performing it. So please welcome Cronin.
Thanks very much, Finbar. It's a pleasure to be here. This one is called Nelson Riddle, after the arranger. Nelson Riddle, arrange me a song. They'll make me swing in the wee small hours when my love is gone. Yeah! Nelson Riddle, it's all gone wrong. These corporate schmucks with their big boats won't listen to my song. Whoa, problems you. How about you? My captain, yeah. Can't stop these tears falling. We're no good for each other. There's no past to recover. We're like sister and brother with all the friends, and you discover that you disappear. One mile further road, I found myself upon. It has no fixed abode. Nelson Riddle, was it like this in the sand? Singing the September of my youth, while folks drink beers, talking over the band. Oh, 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 how about you? How about you? My captain, yes, can't stop these tears falling. We're no good for each other. There's no past to recover. We're like sister and brother with all the friends, and you discover that you disappear. Turn on. I have never felt so much love in a group in my whole life. Are you ready, everyone? We're no good for each other. There's no past to recover. We're like sister and brother with all the friends, and you discover we're no good for each other. We're no good for each other. That's when my love comes tumbling down. My love comes tumbling down. My love comes tumbling down. My love comes tumbling My love comes tumbling down. My love comes tumbling down. My love comes tumbling. Excuse me while I disappear. Nelson Riddle. Thank you very much, Finbar and everyone. It's a pleasure for us to be here tonight in a beautiful room on a hot summer's evening in Dublin town. This next one's an old emigration number called Little London. It's for everyone in Drumlish. So you leaving me for London, baby. Leaving your family for London, baby. Down the M1 for London, baby. Hope you have a lot of fun in London, baby. I will build you little London. I will build you little London. There'll be no need for sorrow, because there'll be no lonely people. Let's go. It's the place to be when you're not with me. Spending your nights in Stephanie, aren't you, baby? I like your new accent and the clothes you wear. That's be seen around Sloane Square. You're gonna spend the rest of your life down there, aren't you, baby? You know what? I will build you little London. I will build you little London. There'll be no need for soul, because there'll be no lonely people. Let's go. I will build you little London. I will build you little London. There'll be no need for soul, because there'll be no lonely people. Let's go. Strings. The strings are behind the curtain. We've got a big orchestra behind there. I will build you a little London. I will build you a little London. There'll be no need for a soul, because there'll be no lonely people. Let's go. Take me. She's so tired. I'm fired. Everything I ever wanted or desired has gone to another. She says, is a better lover. She's so tired. So you're leaving me for London, baby. La 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 la. That's for everybody in longitude of London. Thank you. We're up in this artist. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Mick, Fiachra, come and take your seats. So while the guys are coming, our background, we go back about 20 years. I had been semi-based in Mullingar and I disappeared off to Belgium. And while I was away, the guys moved in and I came back to these new kids on the block, indie band, English boys with attitude. And gradually I got to know them through my then collaborator, Vince Hughes. And got to see the boys playing in the stables and playing around town. They've had more manifestations of musical collaborations. It's been just phenomenal to watch them. The Rainbow Collective or something we're going to call them. So, Michael Cronin, Jonathan Cronin, Fiachra, Milner. Talk to me. Nice to see you, boys.
Great to see you. We haven't seen each other in
Thanks for the invite.
What a weird time. But let's not talk about the weird time, right? Let's talk about the good times. Let's talk about where we're going.
You played at my wedding.
I played at your wedding.
In
It's
Italy.
the entertainment I ever had. It's me, the only man I knew to call.
Oh my God.
Everything from Joe Dolan to Leonard Cohen. You know, who else could do that?
Oh, that
It
was
was
some
brilliant
honor.
in Tuscany.
In Tuscany.
So
Yeah, that
that's
was
in
some
Italy
honor,
for-
Mick. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
session
Actually,
as
it's
well.
elbows in here. Thank you so
But
much for
it
that.
was a beautiful day.
Yeah. I played. That was like, oh my
But
God, Mick
no-
Cronin
no
wants
better
me to
man.
play at his wedding. I was all excited, yeah. Yeah.
Great
And I'm
great
still
night.
excited that I played at your wedding. Thanks.
The only thing was that do you remember we said we'd give you the entertainment and the flights, the deal and the package. The only place we had to put you up was in with us in
That's
the
right.
honeymoon suite.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. But I was well behaved. I didn't peep.
So
too
it's
much.
I didn't do anything
Not
else.
much. Oh, I was supposed to embarrass you guys, right?
Go for it.
Let's talk about music. Let's talk about, so in the intro I mentioned the Bogs of Drumlish and the Bogs of Mullingar. So you boys were born and reared in Drumlish until age 10 and 12.
Yeah.
I was
What
10 and
happened?
Johnny was 13.
In 13. Well, 12 and a half, yeah.
Okay, 12 and 3/4, yeah.
And then brought over, but me dad was from Crossmolina and me mum was from Drumlish and Leeds, and she was back and forward. So when we were brought up, Mammy had a Drumlish Yorkshire accent. So we had a Drumlish Yorkshire accent at school, you know.
Right.
So we were always used to going back and forward because our grandparents were back from the 40s, back to Leeds and back home, you know, when there'd be a recession on. So we left in the last recession. Dad said, come over. He went up to Leeds first. He was a JCB driver, and he said, come over. But we were learning guitar and drums in Drumlish from Mel Crow from Busy Fingers. And there's a feeling in Drumlish with music between Declan Ernie and Mick Flav, and it's such a country and Irish town, and Larry Cunningham up the road, that you could do music, you know, very similar to Mullingar and Dublin, of course, and Cork or wherever, you know, there's big, you know, musical towns in Derry, you know, too. Like, there's a lot of great bands out
Yeah,
there.
but
like,
Drumlish
you know.
wasn't Mullingar. Drumlish was a crossroads back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, it was.
Really?
It was a
Small village.
It was a very small village. Like, I remember listening to the Beatles in Drumlish, and no one else would be. To be AC/DC would be very big. AC/DC and Elvis would be very big, and Mel Crow actually introduced us to the Beatles. Yeah, you know. So that was a big thing. We went over to England then, which was a complete culture shock from Drumlish to Leeds, and we were in a school for how long were we in that school? It was like an immigration school. And
If you wanted to bring this up, I
I
told you
did.
the
Yeah,
story.
Yeah, what
years
do we,
ago.
direct provision? You were
Yeah.
like in this education for direct provision.
This
kids,
is when we
weren't you?
came from Ireland before we entered the education
They're
system in
asking
the
if we
UK. And we had to go and answer the questions like they were checking on our English and our writing and everything. We were there for 4 hours. Yeah. And then we were allowed to go in. But there was people
Just-
there for weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I always thought it was strange that they were looking at the Irish schooling system, and we had to go do this before
it was different
we had to go
education.
into the school system in the UK. You know.
Bizarre. It really struck me. You two are like coming from Drumlish, the fields of Drumlish,
Yeah.
into this, like, and
Yep.
like
Big
what?
culture shock. but
WTF, and WTF wasn't even invented at that
No.
time, was it? And you're like,
But hung out with a lot of Irish descent kids over there, and we started into the trad music. We're like supporting Stockton. We started up a band with Sean Gavigan and Eugene
This
Mallon.
is you now. I
Yeah,
wasn't in
called
this
the
band.
called the Tradition. We were supporting Goat Stuck Shave and the Saw Doctors and Stockton's Wing. You know,
what year are we talking, Johnny?
Oh Jesus, 1988, 87,
88,
88, yeah.
Right.
Started at 14.
So
yeah,
we
show
came
me
from the
age.
middle of the bog,
Yeah.
and then like the Happy Mondays and all
Mm.
the Smiths heads
And the
Cure
Cure.
heads were there.
Yeah.
and then the
So
whole rise of the Manchester
we
thing was
we
going
just
through
went
in Leeds,
into
you
it
know?
then, the whole Britpop thing, you know, so we learned everything. That was our university.
Yeah.
And then learned that you could make money from singing Dirty Old Town in a pub at 14.
Yeah.
And then
We'd
you're
always
still
have the
doing-
Irish
Yeah.
communities, as you know, in the UK.
Yeah.
The Irish communities are always together. The Irish Centre was our main hub for meeting
Yeah.
friends. I was in 2 Gaelic teams,
Yeah.
you know, playing Gaelic football over in Leeds, you know.
Was-
There was 16 teams at that time
Right.
in and around Leeds, you know. I think
How
there's
was
only 10 now.
how was your waltz time drumming?
It's always very good.
Ah, that was
Really?
some place for waltz and those Irish.
always,
centres.
Oh, no.
always good.
Oh my
As we
God.
we always learned all that, you know. We were there every
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
always
Well,
there
yeah, that-
for the show bands. Was
It
still
was like
sort of-
osmosis. You took
Yeah.
in the waltz time by
we were
osmosis.
more
didn't you?
Irish than the Irish that were left here.
Oh,
do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
kept alive, like in Leeds and Manchester and Liverpool, the Irish scene, and then down to London and Nottingham.
Yeah.
And we'd be playing on that whole scene, like,
Yeah.
and you'd be going over from Leeds to Liverpool and playing in the Irish Centre there,
Yeah.
supporting the Indians. I remember that band.
Yeah,
You remember
yeah,
that show band?
yeah.
And playing
They
the
were in
Cavern
Mullingar.
Club
They were
too.
from
What?
Mullingar. They lived around Mullingar, I think, the Indians.
One of them did, I think. Yeah. Fred
Big
Meyer.
Chief.
I know their studio engineer was Fred Meyer. There's a
yeah.
picture of him shot across the desk with an arrow out of his back up in the studio where I recorded first. Yeah, I was in London at that time, and I used to. I was only young, also, and I would go to Saint Sed's Church
Okay,
in
yeah.
Seven Kings, and they had a centre at the back. And like, if the drummer was playing too fast, he'd be lynched. Like,
Yeah.
they'd be murder. Like, you know. How are we supposed to waltz to this and be going and pulling out with lads
Yeah.
on the stage? And like that's where you cut your teeth drumming, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, your timing would have to be
It
impeccable.
had to be good, you know.
Yeah, no messing. Straightforward, but it better be the right tempo.
Yeah.
Fiachra, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What's the very first thing Johnny Cronin ever said to you?
No swearing now.
No. Mind that, etc., guitar.
Yeah.
Well, he was perfectly right, though. He didn't know me from Adam, and he was doing a gig, and I thought I was being a big fella, and went on stage and going, I'm going to jam with this guy, you know. And mind that, guitar.
Guitar, yeah. Okay.
Started off in a bad foot and then.
No, we were talking. We ended up talking that night, though, I think.
Yeah, it was a good boundary setting start, wasn't it?
Oh, he was absolutely right, I thought.
Man's
Yeah.
instrument was very
Yeah.
important. You know.
Especially as you grew older and you had your own guitar and you were up on stage and lads are coming up full of drink. Get off of me.
Then about a year later, they brought me in the road as their guitar tech. So we did a few years of that.
Minding the guitar.
Mind the guitars.
Minding all
yeah.
the guitars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
minding
setting them
all
up
the
and
guitars.
restringing them and God knows what. Then a few years after that, I got promoted to bass player with the guys. So it's been a lot of laughs ever since.
Yeah.
And before, of course.
Highs and lows on the road. You know,
Yeah, like
you need the lows too.
ye have to be one of the busiest
Yeah.
bands on the road. I would
Well, we
say.
were.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you will be again.
I hope you
you
so.
will
Yeah.
be.
No,
You will
hope
for
so.
sure. But like you must have been doing 150, 200 gigs a year.
Yeah, in and around Europe, yeah.
Yeah, all over Europe.
Yeah.
Where where have you played in Europe? Which festivals now? Because you did some really cool
I'm
festivals.
trying to think. We've done
Peace and Love.
Peace and Love festivals.
That was in
Vestrock,
Sweden. We did the Vestrock.
Eurosonic.
But Vestrock in Holland.
Reeperbahn Festival,
Yeah.
Germany.
Did you
The-
do Roskilde? Did you do
No, I was never
Roskilde?
in Roskilde, no.
No,
In
I wanna
Denmark,
do
I was wanted to, you know. The agent couldn't get the right fee.
We did the Fesh in Liverpool a year and a half ago. Wasn't that a year and a half? That
Lots
was
of
brilliant.
festivals in Europe.
That was a great festival. So
We did like that Midnight Sun Festival in Norway 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
didn't we?
yeah.
mm.
Oh, what was that called?
I can't remember. It was in a town called Brattvåg.
Norway's a
But
great.
the sun never set.
It's a great place.
Well,
like,
lots
you
of,
know.
but we missed the road. We don't miss, I suppose, the hard work. We were maybe flogging ourselves to death.
Yeah, but you've good and bad
aspect of it,
gigs,
you
you know, and it's a meditation. The bad gigs are a meditation because it's easy. Like we've got a full room here tonight. It's brilliant, and the audience are up for
Yeah.
it. But when you know, it's when you've got a small crowd, it can be very hard. I remember supporting Andy White. Do you remember Andy White, Belfast Bob Dylan? I supported him in Leeds going back about 12 years ago. And I said, what was the smallest crowd you've ever played to? And he said 3 people. But in them 3 people, one of them was Lou Reed. So you've always got is Lou Reed here tonight? Where bless Lou Reed, but you know,
Oh my God.
you've got to watch. You never know who's
Lou
in,
Reed
you know.
+2.
Yeah,
plus
but you
two.
never know
Oh,
who's in your
man.
audience. So
And did Lou stay for the gig? Or did
oh
he
yeah,
just-
geez, he was a fan.
He was a big fan of him, yeah.
of
All
Andy
right.
White.
Oh my
He's a
God.
brilliant singer, Andy White from Belfast.
Right.
Rave on Andy White, you'd like
Right.
him, like you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But so You know the crack with the road. I'm going to sound like the last waltz here now.
Yeah, we're not. We won't go there.
No.
One of the things that really struck me about you guys was you took a hold of production. You produced your own stuff.
Yep.
There was other bands at the time who spent a fortune on production, and it came and went. But you really took producing your own material in hand.
I suppose a lot of those bands are fads and they go for sounds, but we always go for classic. I suppose that might be the difference. That's where we're from.
Yeah.
That's what we always try to go to sound like. Try and make it sound like our record collection.
Yeah, and you do listening to.
We've got close, on very small budgets.
I know. But then you'd go and all the money that you saved, you'd give it to Carl Odlum or somebody to master it at the end,
Yeah.
But you could hear what he did.
Yeah.
So just on the whole production thing, the videos, your videos are going to be. We're going to feature your videos.
This is great. Yeah.
This evening, right? So we're going to look at She Saves in a minute, okay? Did you shoot it?
Me, and if you ever notice in this video, there's only ever 3 of us together at one time.
In one shot.
I
Out of a
noticed.
4-piece band.
Yeah, no,
So
I
someone
noticed.
someone else is always carrying the camera. And
Shot mainly
we-
in Bratislava and
Bratislava, we
And
shot
Vienna.
this. So we were over gigging, tried to save budgets. It's not like Duran here where we could go and have the separate budget. So we were gigging in Bratislava, so we said we'll try and shoot some footage here and see if it works.
We
It
went
looked
up,
how well. Some beautiful town. Have you been?
Beautiful. No.
but we
Bratislava's
went up the
amazing.
wheel, on the Third Man in Vienna. I did
So
the
we
Third
Vienna,
Man film with
Vienna and
Orson Welles.
Bratislava, yeah.
So big into the Third Man, so we filmed some of it there, didn't we? And
Fiachra's getting
Very
married
good.
there soon. He loved it that
Are you
much of the town.
Fiachra? You get married in Bratislava, are you? Does your fiance know this? So let's have a watch.
yeah,
Whenever we're ready, we'll have a watch of it, and we'll see
looking
Bratislava.
forward
'cause
to
I was
this.
wondering where it was.
Bratislava and Vienna,
And Vienna.
the third man.
Absolutely cool.
I no longer have to search. I've found my own church. She wants me to come and pray each and every single day beside her. She tells me the golden rule is to love her, don't be cruel. I go about the daily routine to meet by chance in the same old seat. She says that I'm for me. I never thought this could happen with me and a girl from Ballyman. I'm catching butterflies like Nabokov in search of his lost love. She says that I'm for me. She says that I'm for me. Too much apple pie. 'Tis in the mercy of the right. If our love shall live or die. I no longer have to search. I've found my own church. She wants me to come and pray each and every single day inside her. Beside her.
Welcome back. So She Saves, shot in Bratislava and Vienna, mostly by Mick, edited by Mick. When was this? When did you shoot it and edit it?
That was in 2015.
Right. And that wasn't your
Six.
first video?
No.
No, like, so when did you start making the videos?
I've always had an interest in it, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Me and Brian bought a decent camera. I don't know, about 2013, something like that.
Okay. And that was from there
Mainly
on?
because of budgets.
Yeah.
And you go to a video production place.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, this is the thing about Cronin.
Yep.
You really took control of the process.
That's because we're skint, Finbar.
DIY
No one else
and
is gonna
indie,
do
though, you know.
Yeah, but
It's
there's
indie
other
and
guys
punk.
who are skint who don't
Yep.
take control of the process. You took
Yep.
control of it, like, and you you put a huge amount of time. You built the studio, you know, you familiarized yourself with all the editing equipment, the recording equipment, and you did it, and and kept the ownership of it. And it's just, for me as a musician looking on, it's inspirational. It's like a great model, and for the future, I think you were ahead of the curve.
Yep.
Because, like, where's it going to go now? You know, record companies, don't know. Like, there's not that many of them. They're not putting money in. So it's going to come back to bands to be creative, you know, to 21st century creative.
Indie scene, like, you know, but we looked at bands like The Frames were a very big influence, weren't they, in a DIY way, and Damien Rice was an influence too, doing it. But the Wedding Present from Leeds were a very big influence. The bigger they got, the less staff they got. They had they bought their own tour bus and they were on top of the pops. The lead singer was driving it. They had one roadie, one sound man. It got smaller, the crew, when they were away from a label. And then they'd go out at the end of a show and sell their own T-shirts, so people would get a photograph with the lead singer, Gedge, you know, meet him or get signed and stuff.
He was doing
Just
that 10 years ago, like, before anyone else was
Right.
now, you know?
You know,
Right.
what is it? If you want to, you know, make a small fortune in the music, you start off with a big fortune, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the
Yeah.
DIY.
Yeah, but you didn't start with a big fortune.
No,
you
not
just
at all.
worked
No,
hard.
no,
I mean, you worked from
Well-
the ground up, served your time, played the Irish clubs in England.
we still
know.
do, like, from weddings to, like, we played, I'd say, everywhere in Ireland. I mean, everywhere. Like, you know, this is the first time ever playing here. It's
Yeah.
a pleasure and it's a beautiful
but-
room. But I'd say
But you're here.
we've played everywhere.
It's
I'd
on the
say, in
list.
Ireland, you know. So I see it as art and money. You know, like, say you get money from some gigs, like the Beatles would have done covers in the beginning, and you learn from covers. You learn from
Yeah.
busking on the street.
Yeah.
You strengthen your voice. You see what songs go down well with a person. You know, if it's a slow song or a meaningful song or a fast song.
Yeah.
You see what the people want, though,
Yeah.
too. You learn, you know, a lot from it. And also then that we pump that into the art. So it's art and money, getting the balance of that, which is hard with real life. Because, you know, life gets in the way of music, you know,
Yeah.
too. Like, you know,
It does.
so it's getting the balance. We all want to be Robert Smith, or we all want to be, you know, Elvis, but it's getting the time with family and bills and, you know, life and health, you know. So it's interesting as we get now into the 40s. It's kind of different songs what you'd write to when you're 25.
Yeah. Yeah. and the record companies are signing 25-year-old
25.
bands. They
Yep.
still seem to be stuck back
You're
at
old.
Yeah.
It's like 21, you're over.
Yeah,
now.
20. Yeah.
You're
yeah.
a slot machine.
But, like,
Yeah.
there is a huge market. Look at the Longitude Festival,
Yep.
like, back to the 80s.
I know.
Massive.
Yeah.
And there's no new music to cater for that market.
Yep.
But it's what you're doing, like,
Yep.
you know. Like, it's mature pop music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
very-
we're into Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
We're into Nick Cave. You know, we're into Roxy Music. We're into David Bowie. That's the kind of stuff.
Bit of
and
punk,
Johnny Cash.
Little bit
and
of punk.
Well, Johnny Rotten, Shane
Yeah.
MacGowan, we'd
Yeah.
love them, like, in the Be Irish Descent too, like, you know.
Yeah.
So that Johnny Rotten would have known the crack going over his family over to London, you know. And
Where is he from? Where's his family
he's from
from?
Galway, isn't it?
Tuam, yeah.
Tuam, yeah.
A Galway man.
John
yeah.
Lydon.
Drop a few names. So,
No.
so you're kind of the house band for Shane MacGowan, Fiachra. What's it like being Shane MacGowan's bass player?
It's amazing. Like, sometimes when you're doing it with him, it's kind of, I'm just playing a Shane song or a Pogues, and then you kind of, hang on, this is the guy with you that's written the songs. And you just kind of, I mean, I was first conscious of the Pogues when I was 3, you know, when they did the Late Late with the Dubliners that time, and they blew me away from that young age, you know. And so it is quite a thrill to play with Shane now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After, 30-something years, you know, of always being a fan, you know.
Yeah.
All massive fans, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
But for me, that always go back to that Late Late Show in 1987. when I was only 3-year-old, just kind of blown away with, So it's it's incredible playing with him,
And what's he like to work with? What's he like as a singer, as a musician? Like, how is he? Is he cool? Is he like?
When
Is he a bit uptight about it? Is he like
Well,
relaxed?
when he's say in the studio or something, he's an absolute pro. There's no like if he's not happy with a take or not happy with something, he stops easily and go back, do that again. You might do a take 15 times or something, So he doesn't tolerate kind of sloppiness in the studio or something like that,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I found anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he strikes me as being a very, very deliberate person. Everything about him, it may be not mainstream, but he very deliberately chooses who he is and how he expresses himself and what he does.
Absolutely,
He
Doesn't he?
knows who he is. You
Yeah.
know.
he's one of the
And his
original punks,
influence,
still, and he's always
there.
kept that.
Yeah,
He still has the safety pins in his ears,
yeah,
and like he's a thoroughbred punk,
the real deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and as a songwriter, oh my god,
Amazing.
oh my
you know.
God. Oh my
But he
god,
teaches you a lot. He teaches you a lot about everything.
the Kaiser Chiefs. There's another band that you have like.
I've known the lads since I was 15, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
from
Gigging
Leeds
around,
again.
gigging around Leeds, you know?
Yeah,
Me and Nick Nick has left the band now, but me and Nick and Simon in the band, we've been in touch a good bit, you know?
right.
So
And-
he's busy, he's been busy, you know?
And like, I mean, one of the biggest bands in the world, like.
The war at one point, yeah.
Yeah, and they're Cronin and the Kaiser Chiefs.
We
Like,
supported them in the Olympia, wasn't it? That was a few
They
years
always, they
ago.
always
That
did
was
as a turn
was
whenever
good
they
day.
could, you know?
yeah,
We were proud of them. They're a great band, you know.
Big Leeds United
know.
fans, all of them, so.
they what?
Big Leeds United fans,
Of course.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
As
yeah.
we all are on the stage, is that not right? Finbar?
Well, if I cared about football, I probably would be. I was very aware of Alan Clark, Billy Bremner, and Obbie Styles,
Oh,
them
yeah.
boys.
Peter
Uh,
Lorimer.
One of me bigger brothers at one stage got a Leeds United kit with the little leg. Remember the little leg bands? I
Lovely,
think it was
yeah,
number 11, little.
Yeah.
And I used to like to wear them, but I was, that was cool. Leeds.
That's good.
Never had them any other team, so must have
Yeah.
been a sign. It had to be a sign. It all led to tonight. Who else have you played with?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I've seen now. We were looking off last Christmas. Glenn Hansard asked us to be the house band for Late Late Show for. He was doing a big Simon community night, and things were tight with COVID. And he's just thinking, who can I get into play where everyone and that everyone would be comfortable with? Like we played, Liam Wheatley was there. We played with him before. Lads from Codeline were there. We played with them before. Like they've used our studio. Shane was there. We played with him before. We played with Glenn before. Do you know what I mean? So
You too were
it was
there.
an absolute privilege.
Oh yeah,
Shani
you
O'Reilly
too. You nearly
from
forgot
Finbar,
you
yeah.
two were
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I played with Bono before as well. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, he played with you.
yeah.
Yeah,
And Johnny Depp. You played with
and Johnny
Yeah,
Depp.
well, we
yeah.
played with him a few
Yeah.
times.
And Finbar, I've drunk for you
And
as well.
Finbar.
You
Finbar.
did, yeah.
Coady.
Patrick Bergen, when you did the Joe Dolan song with Patrick
Oh,
Bergen.
yeah, yeah.
Just
wow,
the
yeah.
answer to everything. We
Like-
did. Yeah.
Patrick's great. You know?
Don't ask.
It was just amazing.
Patrick's great. That he's
It
off
was
the
out
drink.
there. He's a great singer, Patrick, and
Lovely
he's
man,
into
yeah.
it. Chris
Okay.
Christopherson.
We're going to come back in for another video. We're doing. Oh yeah, something's got a hold of my heart. Gene Pitney.
Wow.
So
Great song.
like,
Mark Almond.
so I'm kind of following on your coattails and making my own videos, and I'm looking at stuff, and I'm trying to steal footage, and I'm trying to find footage, and I'm trying to, but you end up having to make it.
There's a funny story about the footage
Well,
of this video.
tell me the story about the footage.
So anyway, it was drunken conversation in Whelan's with Mark Greeny from JJ72, brilliant Irish band. Him and Johnny, like, oh, what can we do together? You know, come down to the studio and we'll mess about. And we said, oh, why don't we do something's got a hold of my heart? And they started singing it there, drunken conversation that we followed through on, and
Bluebus
let it just be a
conversation.
drunken conversation. So
Johnny Cronin drunk.
yeah, believe it. Back in the day.
That
And
was
Mark
back
as
in
well.
the
day,
day.
before-
That was in the day.
That was in the
So
day.
the voices sounded great together. Anyway, we were going to release it, and we had no footage. And then Johnny mentioned to me about the Edna O'Brien film, The Girl with Green Eyes.
Mm.
We-
It's
we
great,
had to touch
great
in a
film.
minute.
I love Edna O'Brien though. Like she's a
So
amazing
as
writer.
you shouldn't do, don't do this whenever you're at home. So I ripped the footage off and just started making it towards the film. So anyway, we put it up. We thought social media, no one's going to see this anyway. We just put it up for Valentine's Day, and we got a phone call from Miramax in America, who wanted to sue the holes off us, basically. But the people that saw it, that actually owned the footage, that was part of Miramax, they saw it and they liked us and let us use it. But Miramax wanted to rip us to shreds. Yeah. Wow. But they allowed it because they liked it and they said it went really, really well. And they loved the edit. They loved my edit. And I actually edited this in Flannery's pub before a gig. 2 hours before a gig on a laptop.
Bam, job done.
Yeah, because it had to be done before.
A young Mike Murphy is in the video.
Yeah.
Mike Murphy when he was young, like in the 60s. But it's a great film. Everyone should see it. The Girl with Green Eyes by Ed O'Brien.
It's on my list.
After the Country Girls, it's a beautiful
Brilliant
kind of kitchen sink.
I'm on it.
Drama,
I loved it. I was, just watching the footage. I loved it.
It was Johnny's concept, Johnny's idea. He said, try this footage.
A country girl going up to Dublin, and she meets an older man when she's in university, and it's very romantic.
Was it a concept or a dream, Johnny?
Some great footage of Bewley's, the old Bewley's Cafe.
Yeah.
It's beautiful on Grafton Street,
Mark did a great job, though. He nailed it.
So here it is, right?
Mark Greene shines in this. He's an amazing vocalist.
One of
Ireland's best singers, I think,
Well, we'll watch it and we'll come back to it again. So it's from The Girl with Green Eyes is the movie. Miramax, we're going to sue you over it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Something's gotten into my life.
Something's got a hold of my heart.
What a
Gene
song.
Pitney. What a song.
Who did it first?
Gene Pitney.
Del Shannon.
Oh, Del Shannon. Okay. Del Shannon did a lot of stuff for us, didn't
Brilliant, man.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You're
The answer
steeped
to
in
everything.
history. But listen, we're not going to talk about Del Shannon. We're not going to talk about anybody else. I want to talk about how great Cronin are as a band. We're just sitting here listening. We have an amazing house system here. So we're watching the video and listening to the quality of the sound, the quality of the vocals, the musical performance, the production. Like, where did you do all that production, Mick?
It was all done in Drumlish.
In Drumlish, in your studio in
Drumlish, yeah.
Drumlish. You engineered all this?
Yeah, and then Jerry MacDonald mixed it, yeah.
Okay. So, like, homemade in the strictest of terms, and to have such an... You can play that anywhere. You can play that in any stadium in the world, and you're not going to be ashamed of what's gone on before or what's after. You can play Queen or whoever. It's amazing quality production for two lads from the bogs of Drumlish to go all the way off and do what you did and come back and be doing that. And you've kind of gone past that and you've left it there, but I just think you should acknowledge the quality of the work that you've been
It's
knocking
great
out.
to hear it and see it. I haven't seen or listened to it in ages, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it has aged well, yeah.
it has
We're
aged well,
happy,
yeah.
you know, proud of that, like, because a production or a song, it's kind of like a suit of clothes. You have to be proud to wear, like, you know, that you're not embarrassed. Like, one of the first songs I ever wrote was called Scatter My Ashes on the Irish Centre Floor. I thought all the Irish centres in England would buy it, and I was singing out a tune. I still do the odd time, but I was singing out a tune for about 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, my mum, wherever we'd go, mum would say, "Put on your tape, Jonathan," and it was only like 12. I was like, me singing out a tune for 5 minutes, and all the relations and our friends would be going,
Oh, he's great. He's great. Oh, he's
so that was a good lesson, you know.
So then the quality control's gone a bit better since then, you know.
Yeah.
Not to have them panic attacks, you know.
Yeah, I think Mick grew up and took control of the quality, and,
Yeah.
and like, it's lovely to see the brothers. How do you feel, Fiachra, with the two brothers? Like, you know, you're kind of an outsider to their family dynamic, but how is that?
With them
Not
so long.
anymore, you know.
I know, yeah, I just going to say, with them so long now, I nearly feel part
Yeah.
of the family in a way, you
Yeah.
know? Like between getting the dinner down in their mum's house and, you know, just
Yeah.
hanging out, you know.
Yeah. Did she wash your
What-
underpants
what-
for you yet? No.
Sorry?
Did she wash your underwear yet?
No, I wouldn't inflict that on her.
That's okay. That's okay.
But when you're stuck in a van, you know,
Yeah.
for it could be 7-8 hours a day
Yeah.
minimum. You know, you
Intense.
have to get on.
You have to get on.
You know,
But
The main
it's-
thing is getting on the
Your
road.
balance is really lovely, because Johnny is out there fronting it and Mick is behind, and Mick is holding the reins and driving it on there really nicely. And just the quality of your work, I really was struck by it this week. You know, preparing for to sit with you and interview you, I kind of studied you a bit and really enjoyed it, and was constantly impressed by the sound and the video stuff. So well done. Now listen, are you going to go back and play us another couple of tunes live?
We're going to do an old cover song, are we? Friday Wedding Present. We
Yeah?
released this as a single a few years ago.
Octopussy after
We'll
the
go
James Bond film.
So, from the bogs of Mullingar, via the clubs of London, Manchester, the Irish clubs that, if you weren't there, you can't imagine them. They were amazing places. I believe they're still happening. The boys served their time, made their mistakes, and have just turned into what's for me a wonderful band who are deserved of all the critical acclaim they get. And we were just talking, though, it would be lovely to see them making a few more, Bob. So you can go on to their website, cronin.ie.net. You'll find them anyway online. They have a bit of merchandise. They have music. They have albums. Go and see them. So I'm just going to hand you back over.
This one's called Octopussy, off the Sea Monsters Wedding Present record. It's a love song for all the romantics.
Some bits of snow still hanging in the air, but that's outside. Take off your clothes and lie down over it. That's just fine. Lay by the window and I watched for you. You weren't late. There was 1,000 things I had to do, but they can't all wait. Don't take away your hand like you ought to. You become my family. I don't need to understand why I need you. You just become my family. Lay down there and I watched you get dressed. It's still so clear. You laughed and pulled your knees up to your chest when I came near. The nose I've always had to fear the worst, but not that time. You brought me home and you kissed me first, and you were all mine. Don't take away your hand like you ought to. You become my family. I don't need to understand why I need you. You just become my family. Oh, that was so real. Oh, that was so real. Scott Walker said, the sun ain't gonna shine anymore. But it is, Scott, it's shining today. Don't take away your hand like you want to. You become my family. I don't need to understand why I need you. You just become my family. Don't take away your hand like you ought to. You become my family. I don't need to understand why I need you. You just become my family. Bit of David Gedge there, Octopussy. There we go. Thank you very much. We're going to do one for the road now to Mullingar. Has anyone been to Mullingar before here in the room? Yeah, it's a good town. Niall Horan and Joe Dolan and the Blizzards and the Academic and Finbar Coady and Paulie Martin and ourselves. So we'll do this one. This is a song called Bury Me By Your Side. So we're going to have BP Fallon on for a John Donne poem called Death Be Not Proud. Are you ready, BP?
Death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure then from thee, much more must flow. And soonest harvest men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings and desperate men, and dost with poison war and sickness dwell, and poppy or charms
Bury me by your side so I can lie next to you. Bury me by your side so I can lie next to you. Yes, your love comes to me. Yes, your love to the sea. Yes, your love you have taken God from me. Burn me these suburban skies so I can lie next to you. If I thought thou could have died, I forgot that you were mortal too. I cling to you as you cling to me. The leaves are falling fast. Saplings of sycamore and elm, the concrete and the child, the natural prize and the spire. Bury me by your side so I can lie next to you. Next to you. And your love come to me. And your love to see. And your love you have taken God from me. God from me.
Death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die.
Merci.
Bury Me By Your Side from Mullingar's very own Cronin. Mullingar's adopted Cronin. Boys are going to be joining me now and we're going to continue our chat. One of the burning questions that I've had, and it's a subject I've broached with Johnny over a number of years, and now that I have Mick and Fiachra beside him, I'm going to put him on the spot with it again. It's a very important question. But I'm actually going to... Johnny, brilliant singing. Did you ever get your driving license?
Did I ever get what?
Can we just turn up Johnny's monitor there?
Yeah.
Did you ever get your driving license?
No, not yet. But
Not
it
yet.
has to be done.
Lads,
It's
you're
not-
gonna
like,
have to
I'm
kick him
learning,
out of the
but
van some
I
of the
could,
days.
I could drive when I was younger, when I was like 14, but I was in a lot of crashes in the old days, like tractor crashes from the pub and stuff. And then I was in a car accident and I got scared. And then we were in a van accident and I got scared. But it's just not a sexy look. Like my fiance, like when we were first courting, she didn't know I didn't drive. And she says, "Well, I come down and collect you. Or do you want to collect me?" And then I've got to go, "Well, I don't drive, So I've got to do it now because we'll get more gigs,
Well,
We'll
apart
get
from
more
the
gigs, but also if you're independent, you need it. But
I was thinking to
it's
give Mick
embarrassing,
give Mick a break from the driving. I'm thinking give Mick a break from the driving, right? So, I hope you're now inspired, further inspired.
I have
okay?
to now,
Good man.
live, but
Best
it
question of
has
the
to be
year.
done.
Good man. Good
Do you know
man.
what? My old man was a driver. He was a JCB driver.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of like a rebellion that, when I was younger, this is what I'm saying to myself anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
didn't
buy
want to
that,
follow
yeah.
didn't want to
Yeah.
follow his shoes,
Yeah, I'll buy that, yeah. I
But
would.
well wearing your shoes.
Thank
Have
you
you
very
seen
much.
Finbar shoes? They're the best shoes in Ireland tonight.
Well, Johnny,
Yeah.
you have your Joe Dolan
These are the
specials
Joe
on.
Dolan shoes. These did a few gigs. So it shows.
Shoes are a bit of a theme on the chat show here. God, I'm lost my track now on the shoes.
You're on about shoes.
Yeah, I was on about.
You're on about driving before that. You're on about driving before that.
Driving
Yeah.
with shoes.
Driving in shoes. But let's go back to music.
Yep.
Let's go back to films. What's next, lads? What are you thinking of doing next? Have you a new album planned, or
We have a new album that's been ready for a while.
is that the mini? You have a mini album or
No,
something?
that was out last year. I put that together in the box room just as a filler because we had this album ready, and we're still just waiting. We're gonna do a new single. I think it's coming out the second week in September.
Okay.
But before that, we're not allowed. We're not really. This is the advice I've been getting. Don't release anything properly until you know you can tour it.
Yep.
So we're
Yeah.
penciling in then for March.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we
At
did
the
a
moment.
remix record last year, and the remix record went well. Like Today FM, Paul McClune played us, and Anne-Marie Kelly played us,
Yeah, we've been
and
getting great radio, best radio
Yeah.
of our lives
Janice
at the moment.
Long.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really
Where every
do.
release all around the world. You know, Australia seems to have taken off. Italy's taken off.
Wow.
Hopefully the Imro will be all right this Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
But we're waiting to see. Like we've got there's a few new developments in the camp and a few new people coming on board.
Yeah.
Outside of us, like we've been doing a lot ourselves. We've been working with Gentleman Recordings in the Benelux region, and there's a few more people coming involved in new management as well. So,
right.
so finally, I might get some time off.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
But
You deserve, you deserve it,
Yeah.
and not just for your effort, because just because you're trying hard at something, that doesn't mean you deserve. That doesn't mean you're good enough or deserve to succeed. But you are so good. You're just great to listen to.
It's just
great
getting
to watch.
just bad management from our
It
side. Or
is.
not having the management,
Well,
which
not
is our
having
been our
that.
thing, you know.
Yeah, you do a pretty good job now, Mick.
It's just fighting against and haven't learned the business, but
it's,
we've got some proper people coming in now. So,
I'm
But
I'm
it's-
delighted.
so hopefully now I'll go.
it's
well,
like
you know.
Duran Duran having to write their own song, then they play their own song, then Duran Duran record the song, then they mix the song, then they master the song, then Duran Duran book gigs for the tour, then they go out and direct their own video and have to buy their own clothes for the video and style themselves, and Duran Duran will be tired after that.
Duran Duran will be tired, and then having to check if there's enough money to get diesel for the van for the way home. And, it's consuming.
Yep.
It is. It really is consuming. It
Duran
is.
Duran doesn't like the taxman either. You know?
No, but it's our,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
our life. You have to.
You'd be
it's-
delighted to get a tax bill. It means you made some money, you know. Oh, I made money this year. Happy days. You know.
But we've kept at it.
What is doing it, Finbar? You know, the amount of people that talk to me and said like, "Oh, I can't wait until we do it." But we are doing it. We have been doing it for years. Good friend Tosh Flood from Pugwash in the Duckworth Lewis method, and he's playing the Divine Comedy now. He said that to me. He says, "You're doing it." He said this to me 5 years ago. You got your studio, you're releasing your records, you're making a few bob.
Yeah, but every
know
other
what I mean?
band
You're doing
is
it. You're
doing
doing
it
it.
too. Once you're on the stage, you're doing it. Once you're putting
Yeah.
out records, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You are it. You know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keep that mantra in the head.
Yeah, it's it's something that I'd have to tell myself as
Yeah.
well. I'm doing it. You know, I made a living from music for 20 years. Like you've done it
always
for 30
you've always
years.
been playing. I've always
Yeah.
known you doing that. You know.
No, I used to be a bricklayer.
No, that as well. But you used to be.
But you used to
gigging as
sing
well,
on
you
the
know?
site. I'm joking.
Yeah, just a very little bit at the beginning, but really from 1999, I was just really gigging. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
one little bit. I had to go back to get a mortgage for a while, and
Yes.
but I've been gigging, and it's great.
It's a
Like
scary
that's-
thing to do, though, isn't it? To
Ah.
be a singer and then to that your calendar's open,
Especially
you've got to fill it.
you especially because you're on your own.
Mm.
Do you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? For a lot, and I've a lot of respect for that. You know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another story. But
Yep.
I mean, you are doing it. That's the thing. You're doing it. You made a
But-
living out of it. You're
At the moment, it feels like that you've made a film and the film's just going straight to DVD or Netflix.
yeah,
That you can't
yeah.
put
Yeah.
that film in the cinema. Do you? That's what I'm saying.
I do.
That with
It's
so with
interesting
records.
that you've been picked up in Italy. It's
Yeah.
interesting that you have European
Yeah.
appeal because they have a whole different appreciation for sound and for music
Yeah.
and for language. I found it when I
Yeah.
gigged it. You know, it's very different appreciation
Yeah.
level. Here in Ireland, we're spoiled with great
Yeah.
bands.
like-
It's a great school here. You know.
It is a great school.
Or like South America with football, you know, in Ireland, when you see a band on the TV,
Yeah.
you go, I can do that.
Yeah.
Over in South America, you know, when you see a football player, you go, I can do that. You know?
yeah.
I don't know. It's a great factory, Ireland, but for music, we have to get out of Ireland, though, too, you know. You've got to come back home with the Oscar.
But the point is, you're here. You've been doing it. You are doing it.
Yeah.
You're going to keep on doing it. You're doing it really well. You own your own production.
Yeah.
And just like, I think, huge respect for that. We're going to do another video now, and then we'll come back. We'll have a little bit more chat. We have two more videos to show.
Which one's next? Which
She
one's next?
Saves.
Oh no, we've done that one.
No, hang on a minute. See This Man.
See this
Oh
one.
wow, yeah.
See This Man. Yeah. Do you remember this one?
You haven't seen this
This
in
was-
ages, though.
Yeah.
This was done in Norway. Was it Bradfag?
Bratfag in
Bratfag
Norway,
in
It
yeah.
was
Norway.
shot in
This was
Bratfag in
shot-
Norway and in
And in
what's the name of the place?
Scrabog.
Oh.
Scrabog, yeah, yeah.
Just outside
Scrabog,
of
yeah.
Mullingar, I
and
recognise.
they melding together quite well.
Seamlessly, only for I knew actually I saw this video before I found Scrabog, and when I walked in, I was like, at the turning point, I was like, I've seen this before.
I've seen this place before.
And then I remembered where it was. Yeah, it really went together well.
So
Yeah.
this is a brilliant song, and a guest vocalist, Veronica Moran, who used
Yeah.
to play with this brilliant singer from Legan in Longford.
Beautiful singer.
And Brian shot all of this, didn't he? I don't think I
It's
did.
a bit of a Lee Hazelwood kind of vibe, but that we're doing
Mm.
Nancy and Lee kind of vibe, that we're going back to
Yeah.
Summer Wine,
Yeah.
Summer Wine.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh, and
Jackson
also
are-
it was filmed in Newcastle. Some of it was filmed in Newcastle.
Oh, I saw that scene as well.
Do you
yeah.
remember
Get Carter.
the
Get
Get Carter?
Carter, yeah.
film?
So we had the bridge.
We went to the bridge where Get
Yeah.
Carter
Yeah,
was.
we-
You know?
Yeah.
And the
There's always
question
a
is,
bit of a film.
what's in the suitcase, Johnny? In this
What's
video?
in the film?
What's in the suitcase?
Just tapes and CDs I'm trying to sell.
Yes, that one.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh my God. See This Man. See This Man. Here it is now. See this video, man. Enjoy your work.
See these eyes, they ain't seen nothing good before.
See these hands, they just wanna kill your baby.
See these legs, they wanna run away with you and run to you.
See this mouth, it just wants to tell us to your baby.
See this man, he wants to take you away from me, away from me. See this man, he wants to take you away from me, away from me. See this love, it wants to be destroyed by you and build something new.
See this dove, she just wants to fly away and come back another day.
See this house, it wants to be condemned by you and fall into you.
See this mouse, it just wants to curl into your baby. Oh baby.
And see this man, he wants to take you away from me, away from me. See this man, he wants to take you away from me. Oh, can't you see? Yours pause before you lie. Yours pause before you lie. Yours pause before you lie. Yours pause before you lie.
You remember what made you moan like a silver saxophone. And all of our ex-lovers, they looked on. Were all
Welcome back. I'm sitting here with Cronin. It's kind of a retrospective on your career, isn't it?
This is
Looking
great.
back,
It's like this is your life.
it's that, yeah. That's
It
what
is
I.
with you. With you, and if you honest.
You know, I kind of had
Is
it.
this is your life?
I,
isn't it?
I kind of was thinking about this as your life actually when I was considering how we were going to engage. I was like, well, you know, as a working musician, you never get to look back. It's just the next gig, like it's tonight, tomorrow night. Where am I next Tuesday? That's it, and you never get to appreciate what you've done, you know. And I'm delighted to be facilitating your.
It's great to see some of this stuff. We haven't seen or heard any of this in years, you know.
Well, on the way home tonight, lads, give each other a pat on the back for a job well done. Okay.
Yes.
Pat on the back, your brother.
No chance.
So what's next, lads?
So we have a couple of gigs coming up with the help of all these grants, these live music grants that are going on. So we have one in Drumlish in our hometown on the 18th of September and one in Dublin on the 23rd of September in the Grand Social. So we're looking forward to that really, and a new single and then more plans for the new year.
So back over to England, I'd say in November. We should be playing London and Leeds anyway. And getting ready for festivals next year. We've St. Patrick's Day booked already for next year. So
We've 3 or 4 festivals.
and just
penciled
geek
in
the
for next
record.
year, so.
And try and stop writing songs, but they're still
Ah.
coming. They're still coming. I'll say I'm not going to write another one to give people peace, and it comes again. So it's just writing songs about the 40s now, 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
So it's
keep
a-
writing pop. like.
we're young bluesmen.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're Muddy Waters or B.B. King or
You
Van
said
Morrison.
that to me a few years
you know,
ago, Johnny. You said like,
you're-
well,
we're-
you're becoming an old blues man. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what.
I didn't like it at first, but it's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you're an old dog on the road, and you know the road, and that's what you know.
You want to
and
be looking at Leonard Cohen or Johnny Cash or
yeah,
Kate Bush or
so
Aretha
many
Franklin or you know.
and on they go. Like their
Mm.
life is on the road, and it's making music, and it's just brilliant. I
Yep.
love it.
And to
Why are you
connect.
looking forward to Fiachra about going back on the road? What? Tell me what. It'll open up again at some stage.
Probably Turkish grills in London.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
What?
Yeah,
Which,
Turkish grills in London.
okay.
There's a
I
couple of favourite stops around Europe for food
Okay.
that we look forward to. Curry houses mainly.
The pints in
Okay.
Cork, the pints of
Pints of
Beamish,
Murphy's in Cork. I know it's always good. It's always good.
the fish and chips. in
Seeing
Galway.
friends from that you've made around the world, you know what I mean, and seeing them again
That's it, yeah.
rather than on FaceTime, you know. That's
Yeah.
gonna be good, you know.
It's gonna go like
bumping
the
into
roaring
people
20s.
Yeah, because you do become friends with people.
Oh,
at gigs.
completely,
Like, you know, genuinely connect with people in
You're a
gigs.
transistor radio. I think you're a transistor radio, and the songs then touch people or they don't. They connect, and the people live with the songs. The others, and you're a transistor.
Yeah,
You're just a transistor.
That's all. It's just passing through, isn't it? It is. The music just passes through us. None of us own it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, next. On
You
to the
know,
next, you know.
on to the next.
the songs are there, and we pick them up, or we don't, and we sing them.
But it's a nuts life, or it's like circus life, really. You know.
Circus.
Circus.
Yeah, it is.
That's how
like
I
we're-
see it. That's
yeah,
how I
we're-
see it. So on,
That's
on
the
to the
life.
next town and sing
Yeah.
then. We'll always need a song, you know, to cheer us up. It's good medicine.
Good medicine.
Good medicine.
Really good medicine. Bank of Love. We're going to finish off with Bank of Love. Tell me about Bank of Love.
This is our last single that we released in March. What's this song about, Johnny?
We're in
It's
July
it,
now, I
It was
think.
an old love song that we was listening to Lou Reed a lot, Transformer. So I wanted to write something like Satellite Love, and listening to a lot of Richard Hawley too. And it's an optimistic song. It's a kind of like a 30, 40-year-old relationship song where you can find love in them years, maybe more than the Buddy Holly teen years, you know.
I mean, I really
So-
love the video
so
for this
it's that,
because
like, you know,
it was done
so
in the middle of
making a cup of
the
tea in
height of
Drumlish.
COVID restrictions in January, you know. So like we were thinking, what are we going to do? So we got the very talented Pete Kingston down. Pete,
Mm.
this is the one video that I had nothing to do with. This is all Pete Kingston's work, and he's a genius from out in Bray. And we work with him a lot. And if anybody's looking for any video work,
Mm.
he's a good man to know, you know.
But it's
It's
an
really good.
optimistic song. It's hard to write an optimistic song instead of a minor key song, you know.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound too cheese. And when you mention the word love in a song too, it's, oh no, can't buy me love. She loves you, yeah. Right,
Yeah.
Strawberry Fields forever. But then John Lennon, then after Strawberry Fields, he wrote, love is real, real is love. You know, it's come back to it. So I think what comes from the heart goes to the heart. A lot in a song.
Yeah, and love is like, you know,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney again, you think the people would have had enough of silly love songs.
Yeah. Oh, what
I
a
look
song.
around me
Brilliant,
and
yeah.
I see it
What a
isn't
song.
so.
Yeah.
What a song.
Yeah.
But like,
What a
there's-
comeback as well to the people that were slagging him, you know?
yeah, but like there is no end to love songs
Yep.
and the appeal of them, and it's great.
Yep.
It's great. And one part of me gets cynical with age, and
Yep.
another part has become very romantic with
Yep.
age. And like love is gorgeous, isn't it?
Yep.
And you know when all the passion and madness goes, and you're into Tuesday, make us a cup of coffee, like, and you know what's for dinner and all, and it's just lovely, and on it goes, and
Yep.
that's kind of where you're coming on in the 30, 40-year-old
Yeah.
relationships, yeah. Yeah.
So we're happy with this one though. It went down well. It did the job.
We got a lot of good radio. I'm impressed with this. So.
Yeah,
But it's
not-
optimistic. You know, it's
Yeah.
what songs you leave behind.
Yeah, I'm
What-
really not
you know.
surprised that you are, you know,
Yeah.
and the video is really stand
Yeah.
out.
It is. But Kingston did a great job
Yeah,
of Johnny making a cup of tea and doing the washing up.
yeah, Johnny, you're never going to get a gig as a dishwasher.
No.
Okay,
No way.
ain't going to happen.
Well, there's a hole
Forget
in my
about-
cup. If you know, I got a Joe Dolan cup. You know, from Olga got me a Joe Dolan cup, and there's no show like a Joe show. But then there was a hole in the cup. Do you lie? See it? But there is a hole in my cup. You'll see it in the video. So
Okay.
that's how
Okay,
no expense spared, and this with special effects. Or
Thank you, Finbar, though. I've really enjoyed this.
good.
But
So have
thanks,
I.
Thank you very
thank
much,
you
and
everyone
thanks
for
to all the
helping
crew.
us.
You kidding me?
And everybody
But
here in the
thanks to all the
community
crew,
centre, you
and
know?
it's been a hoolie. We've really enjoyed it. We didn't
Isn't
know
it?
what to expect. We didn't know where we were going into.
Who
you know,
knew?
like and geez, the PA and the sound system and the cameras. It's just amazing.
And the
we've
crew.
been treated so well with the crew. and,
Thank you very
know,
much to all the crew for their patience.
I
Yeah,
like
thanks,
really
folks.
love
That's
it.
it.
And thank you,
and
Finbar.
Darren,
It's great to
everyone's
see you.
helped us.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. We've really enjoyed ourselves. It's good to get out of Mullingar.
Good to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Any excuse.
I just want to, before we go over to Bank of Love, which is going to play us out, I just want to give a little advert, because as musicians and performers, we need to make money. Like, we don't have anybody giving us checks. At the moment, the government are giving us a few bob. Thank you so much. But, like, if you want to sound, if you're in a band or you're a musician and you want to have a great sound, Transmission Room Studios, isn't it? In Drumlish. They'll sort you out. The rates are good enough. Don't be mean now. Pay him, like, and he'll give you the best of his time. Great session musicians.
Don't
on
ask me
hand.
to make the tea though.
No, yeah, and wash your own cups, because Johnny ain't getting that gig. So Transmission Room Studios, Mick will look after you, and Fiachra will be session musician, and Johnny will be head of vibes, and we'll see you boys on the road somewhere.
Great stuff.
And
Thanks,
thank
Finbar.
you
Keep
so
on
much.
rocking, Finbar, because we
It's
love
a-
you. You know, keep on rocking, and
I will.
we go back a long way.
There's no stopping, man. I took the brakes off a long time ago. There's no brakes. We just have to keep going. Get out of the way. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Finbar Coady, standing in for Stephen Leeson. Next week we'll have a different guest presenter. So tune in and see who it is. Here's Bank of Love from Cronin. Thank you.
Got a bank of love that I saved for you. Got a bank of love that'll see us through. It was late on the night Scott Walker died. And how we cried, how we cried. Got a bank of love that I give to you. Got a bank of love. This time I'll be true. Even times when they were bleak, the future seemed to hold nothing. Or it was you and I breathing. Am I breathing now? upon the bank of love, because of no despair. I value hope. I've tasted frustration and tried to cope and just get you killed. Love gets you hurt. No happier time than when I lay in your arms. We'll learn to start afresh somehow. Only miss you when I'm breathing. Am I breathing now? Saving up your love in the bank of